Alright guys, thanks for watching today. I want to talk about something different other than just a specific watch today. What it is it's a Cape Cod metal polishing cloths. I found these on Amazon. They're about $15 for this case, and I'm going to say this is probably all I'm going to need for maybe ever. I doubt I'll be needing to pick any up anytime soon, because this is something you probably only need to do depending on how often you wear your watches, maybe once every couple of months at the most. So I wanted to go over what I did. Unfortunately, I don't have I have pictures that I was able to post, and I took a couple before I did it. But take my word for it, this stuff's pretty remarkable. I can show you what the end product is and kind of explain what was going on before I did it. So I think best thing to do is just jump in and show you what you get inside this container. What you get are these, let's see, there's 6 different pouches, and they're just these little cloths. Here's the one that I already have open. I have it just in a Ziploc bag to keep it from drying out. And essentially what it is are these little, there we go, each pouch comes with, whoops, stayed in there, comes with 2 polishing cloths, and it's kind of like a felt material that comes, and they're pretty moist. You can see how the moisture comes off the solution or the chemical that's in there. So they're pretty damp, and I guess if they dry out, you can actually use I think it was olive oil or vegetable oil or something like that to kind of get them to rejuvenate and come back to life if for some reason you accidentally leave them out or they just dry out over time. But they'll be fine inside these I don't know, Mylar bags, whatever they are. So they're just little polishing cloths, and then it comes with this terry cloth to wipe them down afterwards, and that is pretty much what's inside there. I used this one cloth to do, I think, about 5 watches the other night, and it's crazy. I just sat there on the couch just watching TV while I worked on these, and pretty amazing. I started with I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but I've got this Melbourne Sorrento, and you're going to notice with all these watches some of the problems that you're going to have with these really shiny ones, and especially with the Mondia, when they have this really high polish or even a mirror polish finish on them. This is where you're going to end up with a lot of your noticeable scratches. Before I forget, one thing you have to be careful about is on brushed finishes. I guess it can damage it. I have a little bit of brushed finish on this one. It's kind of a brush, but honestly, it didn't harm it. I only used just the polish itself. I didn't use any. I actually used a Dremel, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. I didn't do that on the actual case, but on the band, I had some halfway decent little bit of desk rash. Come on, focus. It's terrible on shiny objects. I had a fair amount of desk rash there on the bottom of the clasp for this bracelet, and a little bit going throughout, but I'm telling you, that stuff, it knocked it right out. It shined it. I did use the Dremel on this band just because I was so impressed with the product that I got on the Mondia that I went ahead and just did it. It was really, really easy to do. But I just spent probably, about, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes per watch, just wiping them down, and you just use a little bit of, elbow grease or finger grease, polishing them up and moving it around. But I think where it really changes is when you're using the terry cloth. It kind of knocks those really fine scratches down. But I think without a Dremel, you could probably get desk rash polished out. But if you want to get actual kind of deep scratching of any kind, use a Dremel with a polishing wheel on it, and it's crazy. This is what I have. It's black now. It was just a little white polishing wheel on the end of a Dremel, and it's just kind of this felt material. and I used on the lowest speed possible. And essentially what I would do is I would just run it along here just in a really controlled manner. I didn't have to mask or cover up any of the crystals. I got some on pretty much all of them, some of the chemical, and I just wiped it off, and there was nothing. There was no residual problems or effects. That may not be what you experience. I don't know. These ones happen to all, well, no, they aren't all sapphire. One of them is not a sapphire crystal. So honestly, it didn't hurt it. Didn't hurt anything. It just cleaned them up and made them look shiny and new. It's awesome. So the other one I did was this Mondia. This sucker is terrible for scratches and desk rash, because this is actually like, it's a mirror finished polish on this band. It's a really cool and unique band, but you have to be really careful with it because it will get ate up. But this one was, I had some fairly deep scratches all along on several of these links, but I don't know if you can pick it up, but man, it polished them right out with the Dremel and this stuff, the combination of both, and it was really easy. Didn't take a lot of work. Any imperfections you're seeing, it's probably just fingerprints or kind of a, it does leave a little bit of a film. So I actually used little microfiber polishing cloths as well, the things you get with pretty much every screen protector, or just a lot of watch companies send them. And I use this to kind of buff it out after the terry cloth, because the terry cloth didn't quite get some of the residual kind of I don't know, moisture off of it. So I used that as well, and it buffed them right out. But it's did a really nice job on this Mondia, which was kind of suffering, and I was kind of worried if you're going to resell a watch or put it up for sale or auction. I would recommend using this stuff first if you really want to get it to pop. And speaking of that, the one that was really cool was, where the heck is it? Was my, oh, it's in this box. Was my Vostok. Look at this thing. If you've seen these Vostoks, these radio rooms, these blue ones, they're blue and they look cool. I just kind of lightly went over it because I was kind of scared about the finish and what it might do. So I tested it and kind of went into it kind of carefully. But just how vibrant the blue is now is really noticeable. I'm excited to use it on some of my watches that are finished with the black, whatever you call it, PVD or whatever it's called, finish on them. And I'm sure it's going to do the same thing. It just makes them really pop and look like almost like a waxed finish on an automobile or something. Almost reminds me of what a paint finish looks like before you put clear coat on it. If you've done automotive painting, it just has this really rich, deep color to it. So you can use it on, you don't have to just use it on stainless. It'll clean up really any surface on your watches. Oh, I forgot. I'll have to grab my nautis. I have a bronze nautis that was like black before, and it came out awesome. I'll have to run and grab that here in a minute. And one of the other pretty scratched up ones, I had this Hornet band on this Armand Bossi because it came with this really stupid looking orange leather crappy band. I got this, just got it in a trade. It was kind of just a extra pickup. Actually, it's kind of a cool watch for being inexpensive, but it's comfortable for just a daily wear if I'm going to be doing work and I don't have to worry about tearing it up. But this band is terrible for getting torn up because it's this high polished finish. But I used the Dremel like crazy on this one. The case had some pretty good scratches here. Where's my little microfiber thing? Jeez, I got too much crap on my desk. But that came out really nice. Come on, you. Come on. There it goes. I had some pretty good little grooves and scratches in it. And look at that. It's perfect. So I can't speak highly enough of this stuff. It's pretty remarkable how good of a job that it does in refinishing your watches that might be kind of torn up. I'm interested to see what I can do with something that's really messed up. Maybe like an older watch. I might try it on like an old, just torn up fossil that I've got and see what it can do for that. It's obviously not going to do anything for your crystals. I haven't tried. I have a fossil that's pretty ate up. I'm curious to see what it would do. I'm sure it'll probably just make a mess and make it worse, but who knows? It's definitely not recommended for that, but I might give it a shot. I'm going to go grab that Bronzematic, and I'm going to show what it can do on a bronze finish. So I'll be back in a second. All right, I'm back. So I went and grabbed my nautis Bronzematic, and I'm telling you, this thing was like black. I've had it for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and so it gets a lot of just as you know, bronze wood, just this patina that builds up. And this thing was a very dark color, and it was kind of black in a lot of spots. And this is the first one I did, and I didn't use the Dremel at all. This is just using hand polishing. I wish I had gotten these out before. It was really stupid. I wasn't really planning on doing a video on this because I wasn't sure how impressed I would be, but it's brand new. It's just looks great again. Completely ate that off. I went ahead and removed all of the bands before I did any of them, so I could really do a nice thorough job. Come on, you. Got the crown. This bronze is terrible because already in oh boy, this can, in just a few days, it's already kind of starting to come back a little bit, just a little in some spots, kind of around that crown. Starting to build up again. Jeez. Anyway, that's what I ended up with on the on that nautis. And the last one that I did was this Vostok Dual Time. This one came to me a little bit rough. So the case on this, I did use the Dremel on this one because it was pretty ate up. But what you're seeing there is just kind of fingerprints. These are really hard to get them to just look perfect. I mean, the second you touch them, they start to look goofed up. But this one had some kind of decent little scratches in there, but there's a few little nicks still. I could probably use a little bit more on the Dremel to kind of knock those out, but really this stuff's mainly made for desk rash and fine scratching, but if you use the Dremel, you're going to get those deep scratches out. So pretty impressed. Great stuff. Okay, I think I beat that one to death. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about other than just I highly recommend this stuff if you want to take care of your watches and get them looking brand new. Like I said before, if you're going to put a watch up for auction or sale and you want this thing to really pop, and you want to take care of the person you're sending it to so that they're getting something that does look almost brand new, this is the stuff to use. I don't know what else is out there. If there's something you guys can think of that you can recommend that is also great, please let me know in the comments and let me know how it worked for you, and maybe I'll give that one a shot too and try it out, do a video, and we'll do a little bit of comparing. So that's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button down there if you like this video. If you didn't, go and hit the dislike button. Subscribe. I've got lots of more watch reviews coming. I've kind of taken a little bit of time off during the winter. I haven't gotten too many out, but I plan on I'm going to start cranking these videos out. I got a whole bunch of watches to review and talk about. So if you don't want to miss those, please subscribe and stay tuned in. We'll see you next time. Thanks.